Okay, FZ 2MG, sort of 2MG, Walkaround. Just going to go through it. Hopefully the lighting's good enough. Okay, so starting at the back. Okay, so you've got a whole pile of wires. I think blue is tail. Yeah, that's right, blue is tail. Yellow is stop lamp. You can see that there. Okay, normally indicators are mounted here. This wire goes along here, down here. This is all pretty standard stuff. These mounting bolts here for the side panels. Moving forward, we've got the resistor rheostat for the fuel gauge. You can see there, and there's a connector for that resistor. The header tank. So the top of this is the overflow that runs down here, and we can make that out. Down past the shock down there and out. The bottom of it, there's a pipe somewhere else on it. I can't quite remember where it is. I think it's on the bottom, which then runs along here, under here, and is here, and that goes up to here, and connects to the thermostat. Moving back to here, we've got the fuse box, and onto the fuse box is normally the main fuse. Okay, so very clever system on the FZ. The battery is only got normally one connected on, mine's got two on, but it runs to the solenoid, and the solenoid then connects to the main fuse. The main fuse then goes to ignition, and the ignition then runs back to the main fuse box here, and then distributes around the bike. It's a really good system. It's really good. The whole system is fused, and it's fused nice and close to the battery, so that's excellent. I like these batteries. The overflow for the battery normally goes down here. Of course, I'm using AGM, so there's no vent, no overflow stroke vent. I love these motor bats. These motor bats are even more powerful. This is a 16 amp hour battery. This will start the FZ just on the button. It's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so moving forward, my bike's slightly different here. I'm using relays. This is the fuel controller, and and there's the fuel pump, and the fuel pump is connected to the fuel controller here. You can quite make that out. The lighting's probably not good enough. This green connector is the generator. This red connector is the neutral. No, sorry, the red connector is the generator, stroke alternator. The green connector is the neutral switch and the oil pressure thing. Oil level thing. This connector here is for the fuel gauge on the tank. Hopefully there you can see the layout of the fuel system. So you have this funny L-shaped pipe here that connects onto the tank, goes through the filter here, goes to the bottom connector on the fuel pump, out on the top connector, and then along here. Make sure this pipe's got loads and loads of free play in it. The fuel pipe that goes to the carbs from the fuel pump. You need to make sure there's plenty of free play in that pipe, because if that gets trapped here, and it does like to get trapped here on the top of the starter clutch housing, that tends to pinch it, and it causes a fuel starvation problem. Okay, what else? Other pipe work I've got here. I think that's all that. Okay, so I have my horn here. Normally it's located underneath the front yoke, but this is normally be where on a 1FN the shock adjuster connector would be. I have my horn there. Normally you can actually get two good horns in there, which can put a real nice powerful twin tone horn in. Another one here. Okay, so on the CDI, Mr. CDI, so this has got a blue CDI because I'm 2MG. I think the 1FNs have got a black label on them, so you can identify them straight off. The switch is here for the side stand switch, which I don't like to use. That's wired out. Two connectors onto the CDI unit. The left hand one is goes to the pickups, and of course being the 2MG there's only two, so there's only two wires that goes to the pickup. This one is goes to the coils on his main power, and there's all stuff. So red's power, I think orange and grey are the two coil selectors, but there's quite a few connectors there, and I've covered that somewhere else in some other video I think. Right, okay, so moving up here onto the carburetor. So the carb overflows down here. This is an airbox overflow. In case you get fuel into the airbox, there's a little drain here with a one-way valve here to stop air coming up. This is the main breather pipe. This connects down here on top of the clutch housing. You can see that there, runs along here. Again, make sure that that's over. That tends to get quite hard and stiff, so it might be worth replacing that if you're in that position. Okay, So following the main loom along here, from here, goes up here. This is an extra wire, take notice of this. You can see that there's the clutch pipe. This is the connector for the reserve switch, and the two connectors down there. I'm not going to take the airbox off, but there's two connectors down there, one for each coil. There's also a connector there, black one, that does the fan. Okay, so this now runs along here. There's a whole pile of connectors here for the clocks, and both the switch gears are the ignition switch. Sorry, the ignition switch actually has a connector under here, under the airbox. It plugs in under there. That connector is prone to overheating. There's quite a lot of power going through, especially if you run headlights in the day, or if you run a big bulb, you'll overheat that connector down under there. That's it. I'm just going to scan round in case there's any other questions, and then I'm going to run back over the bike. You can see the position of everything. So we did cover this. You can see the starter solenoid, the main fuse. The main fuse should be plugged against the side of the fuse box here. It's got a little clip on it. You can see the starter solenoid, master cylinder. There's nothing else much down there. But the wiring for this comes under here, round here, and round here. If I remember rightly, there's actually a sort of a cutout in the side of the header box where the wire fits, where the loom goes in. It's really tight, but you'll see on if you take the header tank off, it's actually a cutout on the side of it, and the wires go, the cables go through that cutout. Okay. The fuse box is quite unusual. It's got two positions in it, but only one of them's used, so make sure you put your fuse in the right position. One's a spare. I think it does say on it actually spare. Yeah, it does, main fuse and spare. So yeah, make sure you have that in the right position. Oh, I just put two in. Okay, I think that's it. Thermostat connections, you need this earth here, and there should be another connection here. I can't quite make out how it's here, and that is for the temperature gauge, of course. Make sure this is all tight, there's no corrosion. It still likes to corrode these, some sort of reaction with the water pumping through it. But you just make sure that's well earthed. You need to make sure that earth's well connected there, otherwise you get a bit of galvanic corrosion on here. I think that's it.